Hello, and welcome to When We Fight, We Win, the podcast.
My name is Dey Hernandez.
And I'm Greg Jobin Leeds, and we are the authors of the 2016 book, When We Fight, We Win. There are almost now 30,000 copies of When We Fight, We Win in print, and we are so happy to continue growing this dynamic community with all of you.
We welcome you to this series of special live episodes that we have launched in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. When we fight, we win life, mutual aid and solidarity in times of crisis. We hope you'll join us on Zoom, on Facebook Live, every other Wednesday, starting today at our new time, 5 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for being here, and we thank you for being present. We started this 8th episode, Sounds of Resistance Parte 2, with music selected and shared by our own Cano Cangrejo de Agitarte, who will be leading the interviews today. Now we will hear from our very special guests, Taina Asili and Gaetano from Taina Asili La Banda Rebelde and Albino Mbie. These incredible artists will share music and words with us. And we would love to hear from you, our audience. So if you're watching from Facebook or if you're watching in Zoom, we have a Q&A section at the bottom of the page. Throughout any moment at the episode, you can send your questions and we will raise them up at the end of the show. And if you're doing the same Facebook, you can put them there and we'll try to bring them back to the artists here.
Hola, Day.
Hola, Greg.
So I got to listen to the sound check for this show, and it was so amazing. But before we do, we're also so excited to announce that last week we launched the 3rd episode of our official podcast, which also has amazing sound quality. This is part of our podcast series based on our book, When We Fight, We Win. The 3rd episode, Fighting the Common Enemy of White Supremacies with Stosh Kotler. It's available on all podcast platforms. In this episode, we speak with Stosh, who's chief executive of the Bend the Arc. It's an organization built on with tens of thousands of progressive Jews from all across the country. And in this episode, she tells the story of and about anti-Semitism, anti-Jewish, and fighting for the rights of children who are separated from their families at the border under the Trump administration. The shows are designed for folks who are ready to have a switch flipped in their brain so they can understand the root causes of the problems we are facing, and a switch flipped in their heart so they can feel the meaning of true solidarity. You can check all our podcasts at our website, whenwefightwewin.com, or wherever you get podcasts. New episodes are released every other Wednesday. The next episode will be released on May 20th, and we'll have an amazing episode about Puerto Rico's fight to save public education. You can visit whenwefightwewin.com/podcast for more information.
Thank you, Greg. Today in this live webcast, we have the pleasure of sharing music and words with Taina and Gaetano from Taina Asili La Banda Rebelde and Albino Mbie. Taina Asili is a New York-based Puerto Rican singer, filmmaker, and activist carrying on the tradition of her ancestors, fusing past and present struggles into one soulful and defiant voice. Her music combines powerful vocals carrying themes of hope and liberation with an energetic fusion of Afro-Latin, reggae, and rock. Asili's music offers a sound that spans continents, exuding strengths of spirit, inspiring audiences at venues across the globe. From Carnegie Hall to the Women's March on Washington to the main stage of San Francisco Pride. With an energetic horn section and infectious rhythms, Asili's music urges people to get on their feet and dance to the rhythm of rebellion. Albino Mbie is an award-winning musician, guitarist, singer, composer, sound and mixing engineer born in Maputo, the capital of Mozambique, a country in southern Africa known for its rich musical and cultural heritage. He has been making music that aims to combine disparate entities into an organic whole while retaining their unique undiluted flavors. The music of his native Mozambique, coupled with his experiences living in the US and traveling to other places. It's been described as a much pleasing overlap of an original sound of Afro Moss pop jazz meets world music that, while exuding sophistication, remains approachable and simple. Albino's music is a body of emotional, political, and personal songs, which are vessels of hope, compelling lyrics, and our troubled souls in these turbulent times. And we really want to start this session by taking a deep breath together. It's an honor to have you all in this virtual space, and also share our appreciation.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you all with us.
Thank you.
It's certainly a special episode. And before we turn the interviewing over to Jorge, we wanted to ask Jorge one question.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. So why did you insist that we do a music episode within the series? What's music giving you these days?
Okay. I mean, I'm an organizer, so I said I'm going to organize some badass musicians to come on board because that's what I want to hear. That's what I need in these times. I think music has always, for me, music has always saved me. It's given me a way to keep moving. It's been a rhythm in many ways, you know, and people know me know I love to dance, but really just a rhythm of life. And in these times where people are being, you know, having to distance and in the worst cases, criminalized for movement and criminalized for having to live or forgotten because they have to be on the front lines and our bodies, you know, can't be out there, can't be free. I think movement and music, it becomes even more important, you know, and, you know, right now in Puerto Rico, they're trying to pass, you know, a new code, a civil code, which will limit, you know, a lot of rights and really goes down to controlling bodies. So I think music allows us to free ourselves and it's a wonderful, I mean, I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to be able to have Taina and Albino. It's just wonderful. And to hear you again, the sound check was great. You know, it's great to hear you all. So yeah, that's why I insisted, right? That's why, because I'm an organizer and I just wanted to hear some really good music. And I think we need to keep bringing good music to people. And it's wonderful to have these great musicians here to celebrate with us, you know, and to also contribute, you know, to our community, keep building community and healing. So I think with that, I just want to hear some music. So I want to start. And I want to start with you, with Taina, all the way from New York. What's up? Like, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you all so much for inviting me to be here. I'm feeling like it's like these moments are like just like moments to be connected with community, radical community, Boricua community, and you know, just an artistic community. So thank you so much for this opportunity to be here with you.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing good. We're upstate New York, by the way.
Where's this? Awesome. Yeah. Not everybody's
I always like to clarify.
From Manhattan and from the boroughs. Yeah, no, good. It's great. So can you please tell us a little bit, you know, I mean, about yourself, so people who have never maybe heard you or seen you and Gaetano, just tell us a little bit about who you are and what's the music about, what you're all about.
Yeah. So I'm a Boricua that grew up in upstate New York, and I, you know, come from a rich family history of musicians and poets, and you know, music for both. Gaetano's father is from Sicily, and also comes from a rich musical tradition, and you know, I grew up in an area that was, you know, had a lot of issues, you know, in terms of dealing with like racism and homophobia and such growing up. So my first form of music, even though I was raised with the rhythms of bomba and salsa and all of that good stuff, my first introduction to being a musician, as it were, was first opera. So I was trained as a classical opera singer, and then later punk rock, and that was like my roots, really and truly, as like a performing artist, was through punk rock, and it was this like moment of rebellion. So you know, today what I do is sort of like a blend of a lot of different styles. So I do like, I incorporate those Afro-Latin rhythms and that heritage, and my cultural roots and that lineage and that ancestral lineage, blended that with that punk rock rebellion and all of the other beautiful beats of the world that I love so much. And then my poetry, which as we know goes as far back as the Taínos, like the Areitos, this is like, it's a part of that lineage. So.
All right. So, all right. Well, listen, I want to hear it. You see the proof of the pudding, the eating. What's up? I want to hear some music. Maybe
Okay.
it was your first song, Gaetano
Yeah.
and Taina.
Actually, I'm going to switch it up for Gaetano. I thought I was going to do Resiliencia, but I think for our first song, I want to do Sofrito because I always got to honor the ancestors when I start. And this
Sure.
one, I think, just does it right. So this is going out to all the Boricuas listening today. This one's called Sofrito. And for those of you who don't know, sofrito is that special sauce that we use in our cooking, this blend of ingredients. And I've been studying our traditional medicines recently, rereading a book by Maria Benedetti about our ancestral wisdom, and just thinking about all the medicine that's in that sofrito, this special sauce that we use in our cooking. And it's a metaphor for the potent mixture of powerful ingredients that makes up the Boricua nation.
That's what's up.
En lo más profundo de mi memoria vive un sabor de otro es el olor de mi fuerte ascendencia. En las sabias manos de mi abuelita. Sofrito, el corazón de abuelita. Sofrito, el corazón de abuelita. Un puñado de ajo machatando en el pilón, mezclado sabroso, secretos representan la fuerza de mi pueblo, la potente mezcla que somos y el poder de la tradición. Sofrito, sofrito, el corazón de abuelita, el corazón, es el olor que me ayuda a recordar de dónde vengo, el combustible para dónde voy, donde encuentro el coraje para derribar los muros injustos, la base para crear el nuevo. Sofrito, sofrito, el corazón de abuelita, el corazón de abuelita. Sofrito, el corazón. grande. Sofrito, sofrito, el corazón de la abuelita, sofrito, el corazón del corazón. Sofrito, 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 sofrito. Sofrito, 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 sofrito. Sofrito, 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 sofrito. Thank you.
Wow. Oh my God. You have me here crying. You have me here like, my,
Aw.
sofrito, you know, it's like, yeah, that's the essence. That's why earlier I was like, yeah, that's what's up, that's what's up. Because I just like, I just talking about sofrito the other day and it's just, that was the essence for it all. So such a beautiful song. Thank you so much.
Oh,
I don't thank you.
so much.
Thank you so much. I wanna move for a minute to Albino, and yeah, give a chance to hear more music. I'm really here for the music, as Greg said. That's what I insisted for. I insisted for the music. So, but so Albino,
Hello, hello everybody.
how
Thank you.
you doing today?
I'm doing great and much better now being
Yeah.
in this community. Mhm.
Thank you. Just wanted, like, you know, just to start, just please introduce yourself. Maybe talk a little bit about what your music and, you know, what you do, for our folks that don't know your music or know you, and for those that do, so they can enjoy again and hear you speak with us here today.
Hello, my name is Albino Mbie from Mozambique, and I love music. As you can see, I'm holding my guitar here. I've been searching for the reason of my existence as I remember. And I've been, you know, trying so many different things to translate that, and music has been the way that I could thank for my existence, for the world, for the universe, my parents and everybody that has been blessing me in so many ways. So music for me, it's all that.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. So can we hear some music? Can we hear some?
Yes.
Yeah, that's that. Thank you.
So I'll play a song from my second album, Mafu, and this song is Faith in You.
Great.
Wrapped in trouble, your boat is way too heavy. Sister, you struggle. You had to grow up before you were ready. Dun, 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 dun. But you wore it, and you're running out of air. Sister, you are terrified that the race will never be fair. You have hit the bottom so many times, set up fences, try to hide your tears, when everything around you screams danger. I'll push you through the fears because I have faith in you. 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 Da-da-dum-da-dum, paratndote, paratndoton, paratndoton, paratndote, paratndoton. Proud, you are the pillar that I will always hold on to. Sister, you're my mirror, so love your soul like I do. You are a warrior, so make the skies tremble. Run through the darkness and it will be gone. Stand up and scream out all the pain, and you'll see the fire of the dawn. Ooh. I have faith in you. 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 I have faith in you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So blessed. Feel so blessed to have you all here. For those of you who just joined us, we're listening to our special guest, Albino Mbie, and Taina Asili Gaetano from Taina Asili y la Banda Rebelde. And this is the When You Fight, We Win live web series, Sounds of Resistance. And I'm Jorge Diaz, Cano Cangrejo on the 1 and 2s. And I want to continue because I'm enjoying so much the music, and I want to make sure that we get to enjoy some more. So I want to go back to Taina. And then I'm going to start with a song and then ask you a little bit more about your music. But first, I think I'd love to keep this vibe going, and Albino just want to keep the vibe going. So I just want to go straight to the song and we can talk a little more. So so please, can you tell us about your next song? Yes.
This next song is called Plant the Seed. And just like really quickly, it's about, it's from my most recent album, Resiliencia, Resilience. And it's a song that was inspired by my dear friend Leah Penniman, who's the co-founder of a farm that I'm a part of called Soul Fire Farm, which is a food justice farm in upstate New York. So this is about food sovereignty, and I want to ask our listeners to just take a moment as they're listening to envision that your hands are in the soil as someone who's planting that seed. And I want you to hold in your heart not just the physical seed, but what is that spiritual seed? What is that essence that we want to plant for our future generations? This is such a powerful time to contemplate that moment. So I just want to invite our listeners to take that time as we listen to the song and think about what you're ready to plant.
This is my declaration to be fully alive, healing. This is my reclamation of my ancestral wisdom. The earth, it saved it for me, and I plant the seed. No, won't give up, I won't settle. Dig the path returning us to land. Ancestors calling from the depths of the earth. Dig the path returning us to land. Let it be our medicine. 'Cause all that we need is enclosed in that seed of precious memory. And I came to 17. Let me, I came to 17 as I plant that seed. A memory. I hope I'm 17. A memory. I hope I'm 17. Let my hands surrender to the sky. Feel the sun restoring me to life. I am whole. Let my hands surrender to the sky. Liberation is possible. Reap the harvest of collective strength. Let our courage nourish us and fear have no place. Reap the harvest of collective strength. We are self-determined. 'Cause all that we need is enclosed in that seed of precious memory. And I came to 17. Let it be, I came to 17 as I plant that seed. A memory. I hope I'm 17. A memory. I hope I'm 17. A memory. I hope I'm 17. A memory. I hope I'm 17.
Bravo. Gracias, gracias, de verdad, gracias. Oh my God. I'm like, I want to stand up and dance. I can't because I gotta be like, no, but I'm like,
It's true. It's hard.
oh my God, it's just like really hard not to get up.
Aw.
I wanna like do another song, but like ask you questions, and then we'll do 2 songs from you and then 2 songs from Albino, and then we'll close, and have 1 more song each. But I wanted to
Sure.
mention something really interesting. You mentioned that your compositions have been described as anthemic. Like, what does that mean?
So, right now, how I describe a lot of the songs that I make, how I describe them is that, well, is that really a way to describe them? They come from spirit, and there's, I think sometimes the messages that come through aren't just from me. But I think that, for me, the music that I create is oftentimes an offering for our movements for social change, and so with that, I think that I was actually talking with my son about this, is that music, and I'm sure this is why you have this show today, is the jogging track for the revolution. It's what helps us to keep moving forward in this work for justice and healing, and it always has been that that gift that we have to help us to reinvigorate us and have that energy that we need, and also to transform and to influence our our body, mind, and spirit. So to me, that's the anthem idea of that anthem is that idea of being that song that helps to be a driving force to continue forward in this movement for justice and healing.
That's great, and we do need more of that. So we appreciate it. And doing the work, we really appreciate it. And I never have been able to hear you live yet, but this almost feels closer to live than hearing you.
It does.
Yeah, I want to ask one more question for both of you. Like, how do you see your role as musicians? In these times, has that shifted, or is it a continuation? Like, just really, I know we don't have enough space. People are talking all over this, but I haven't had enough chances. I want to know how other artists and musicians are you seeing. Where do we fit in these times, or where do you fit in these times, and how we deal with this, uncertainty and pandemia.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, I would just say that I think that it's, always music has been and is always will be one of the most important things that gets people through difficult times, and I think that this is no exception for that. And I think that it's what we do with our music kind of in general, and I think that this moment, our role as musicians, I don't know if it's necessarily changed the way in which we are, I don't know, living.
Role sounds kind of weird, right? Maybe not role is the word. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but it's true, because I do think that there is something about, art is getting people through these times. Without the music, without art, without creativity, people would be lost.
Much more difficult.
Absolutely.
I think okay, so I think that one thing that for me, this time not being able to tour, right, and not be able to share my music live, my role in terms of how I share my music has changed. So platforms like this that we're on today is very different. So I don't have that audience interaction in the same way. But I also am able to reach more people in certain sense than I have by being able to be on a platform that's accessible to the entire world at any given moment.
That's true. And
we have been able to use our music to support virtual rallies, for example, rallies online for addressing prisoner justice issues or climate justice issues, or a number of different supporting nurses and so on, and workers and so on and so forth. We've had this opportunity to be able to utilize this platform in this unique way where people are actually paying attention in a way that they haven't before. So I think that's one way that my role has shifted in terms of how I'm using my music. But I also, have been taking this time, we have 2 children, so we are not like sitting around bored at home trying to figure out what to do with ourselves. We're very well occupied with our time. But within that, this for me, I've been thinking a lot about this idea of grieving. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I love podcasts. And one of the podcasts that I was listening to, I can't even think of the name at the moment, but they were talking about this idea of grieving, and how in our daily lives, when we're going about our day, pre-COVID times, we'll see, the fires in Australia, or, this shooting, or, this and the other, all these different things that are so unbelievably, profoundly painful. And we can acknowledge them maybe and move past them. We move beyond them, and we don't really take that time to grieve properly. And through that grief is how we transform. That's how we change. It's pain helps us to change, right? Yes. And so to me, this is also an opportunity for us to sit in a moment of collective grieving and to acknowledge all of the pain and the suffering, because this time period is bringing all of that to the surface. And then music comes in to help us to transform that grief into radical hope and action. It's that medicine that helps us to move it and get it flowing again, you know? So I'm hoping to offer some new music and art during this time to help us through that.
Oh wow, that's great. Okay, and the show is over. No, I'm just kidding. No, like that's like exactly. And I'm really happy you mentioned that, because I started doing a virtual dance party on Saturdays to help my own healing, and suddenly have a huge community of folks coming through, waiting for that Saturday party. Like, I mean, it's like you know, like I've been a DJ for years, but I never knew like I would be doing something like this to build community, and that actually being far away now, we can kind of like shorten distances in a very odd and different way. Yeah, and I'm with you on grieving. So anyway, I'm gonna stop talking because I want to hear more music from you. Also, on the next song you're gonna play.
Yeah, let's see what Spirit says to me. Oh, also, I don't know if you noticed, for those who are listening, I'm wearing an Arte shirt. So I've been a fan of for a long time, or not fan, I don't know what the word is, admirer. We'll leave it at fan for the moment.
Peer. Colleague.
A peer, a colleague, but yet we haven't had this platform in this way, so this is a perfect example of that opportunity. This next song, actually, you know what? Let's do Resiliencia. Okay. We're gonna do the title track of our recent album that we released, and
I love this. I say I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, good. So now you'll get to hear, right, that punk rock rebellion is folded into this a little bit more. It's a little different style. And of course, we're doing it acoustic. Normally we perform with like a 9-piece band. So you listeners are getting that real intimate acoustic journey with our music. But this song is called Resiliencia, Resilience. And it was inspired by going to Puerto Rico after Hurricanes Irma and Maria, and I interviewed 4 women artists and activists on the island about their stories of resilience during and after the storms. And from that experience, I wrote this song. So, yeah.
La lluvia cae, el río nos guía. 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 Lleva nuestro resplandor, resiliencia, más decidido que nunca, resiliencia, a ser iluminado y dominada fue la tormenta. Ahora hablo como la voz que grita para ser escuchada, que siente un gran dolor, vino el agua de las montañas, vivieron las olas desde el mar, transformado. Muy adentro la he de crear, construyendo nuevos recursos y nueva posibilidad. El amor de los antepasados está vivo en la tierra para guiarnos y recordarnos que tenemos la capacidad. En el barro se sembra una semilla y el sufrimiento y la agonía, la esperanza para un nuevo día ha nacido. La lluvia cae, el río nos guía. La lluvia cae, el río nos guía. La lluvia cae, el río nos guía. La lluvia cae, el río nos guía.
Wow, qué poderoso, de verdad. Gracias, de verdad.
Gracias.
How powerful. And for those of us who are in Puerto Rico, in Maria, it's like really touches. So thank you. Thank you so much.
you.
We're gonna go. I want to go to Albino, but I wanted to just, we'll come back to you for another song, for some questions. But I want to go back to our friend Albino. Bien. I know it assumes I'm waiting for the screen to pop. I think he has to say a word, and then the screen pops, and then I can see.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. It's a Zoom thing, they edit on their own. So great to have you back. Here
Thank
for
you.
more music. I wanted to go and into a song, right? We're going to ask you to play 2 songs. So maybe you can tell us about your next song, and then we'll ask you, some questions about the music, talk a little more, and then go to another song. If that's okay with you?
Sure.
Cool. So this-
The next song I'll play is Mafu, which is the title of my second album. Mafu is a word in Shop. Shop is the language that we speak in the south of Mozambique. In this song, I'm mixing Shop and Xangana. Both of them are from the south of Mozambique. And Mafu means earth, means universe too. Thank you.
Thanks to you.
Ungasakani ni mafu, mana kutsokota masu. 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 Machi kutsokota masu, kaunamba mana kuona. Machi kutsokota masu, kaunamba mana kuona. Unangisa kuchani, laku ausiwoni. Unangisa kuchani loku ausiwoni hey, 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 yo. Ba-da-ba-ba, yeah, yeah. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba, yeah, yeah. Ako hisa, shitete. Nisakutala ni ushaka shaka. Shikulisiwa ikukala shichavu. Nimisavalei. Ungasakani ni mafu. Mana kutokota masu. Hey, 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 hey. Ungasakani ni mafu. Mana kutokota masu. Nangisa kuchani loku ausiwoni. Nangisa kuchani loku ausiwoni. Hey, hey, hey. Nangisa kuchani loku ausiwoni. Hey, 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 Unangisa kuchani loku ausiwoni. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, oh.
That's so beautiful, really. So beautiful to hear you sing and your music.
Thank you.
The song, the structure of the song, just really had me going, and I didn't know when it was going to end, and then it has a new surprise, and I'm like, okay, we're going somewhere else now. I really, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I want to ask you a question. You often describe, even title some of your events, a celebration of life and love. What is this? Why? What does this mean to you? I can get hints, right? But I'd love to hear more from you. Like, what does it mean, this celebration of life and love to you? through the music?
You know, I feel that every day is an opportunity to a rebirth and to find yourself in so many different ways. And to be alive today, especially at this moment where we're losing our loved ones, where people are struggling in so many ways, I feel I have to celebrate, and I think we all should celebrate the opportunity to be alive every day.
That's great. That's great. Because it's been a lot of the thoughts have been on my mind. So I love to hear it. And you get. It's great to hear from and do you say that. So I pretty appreciate that. I also wanted to ask you, like, do you have any since you have this great outlook on the music on what we should be doing in terms of celebrating, and how we do it on a day to day. Do you have any ideas or any practices that something you can suggest that we can do, as artists or as people in general during this worldwide crisis, within this idea of transforming ourselves every day and celebrating love and life?
The way I found, or the way has been working for me, when the world got into this specific moment of the COVID, I had to understand exactly what was happening before any reaction, before any other type of thoughts. So I think first it's important to understand exactly what's happening and how to make a difference. And from there, it's going to be easier to understand what would be the next step. And that's what I've been doing, understanding what's happening. How could I avoid to get, our loved ones sick or myself sick? How could I inform people that may take this situation in a different way, that sometimes may bring problems to all of us? And in terms of inspiration, it's hard. It's hard, but one of the things that keep me alive is the hope that one day I'll be able to be around my family, my loved ones, and holding my guitar and keep the dream, the reason why I had to move from Mozambique and be here in Boston.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, really. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about your next song? I'm eager.
Yeah, since we're talking about celebration, so the next song is Golden Smile. Golden Smile, that's the way I found to label the beautiful smile of mom. That's where I come from, Mozambique. The kids there compare to opportunities that you might have or living in a world like the US and other places, and how people could find joy, could find the meaning of life, even living in one of the most challenging places in earth in terms of education, health, in so many different ways. So Golden Smile is the title of the next song, but I call Golden Smile the continent, African continent, Africa. So the next song is Golden Smile. I was born in between rivers of Zambezi and Nile, breathing the heat,
from Sahara, staring at the sculptures of snow on Kilimanjaro, wishing I could run at the speed of the lions. Mama Africa, Mama, Mama Africa, you have traveled very far. I will always remember you. Ooh, I feel lucky to have grown in this paradise, whereby waking up in your sunrise, it's a reason to smile. Birds singing the ancient songs, all the memories are calling back your soul. Mama Africa, Mama, Mama Africa, you have traveled very far. I will always remember you. Ooh, it's our obligation to repay our mothers fighting for freedom. Come, let's paint our face with the new colors. Come, let's make a dress from flowers. Come, let's build a new necklace from a golden smiles. Mama, Mama Africa, you have traveled very far. I will always remember you. Ooh, Mama, Mama Africa, ooh, you have traveled very far. I will always remember you. I will always celebrate Mama Africa. I will always celebrate you, Mama Africa. I will always celebrate Mama Africa. I will always celebrate Mama Africa. Mama Africa, oh, Mama Africa, hey, celebrate you. Mama Africa. Ooh.
I know we've been playing a bunch of songs. I just wanted to have a moment to actually speak all of us for a moment, and then maybe close out with some questions and another song if you all want. But we've been thinking a lot about how we, how we use music and how we use it for healing. But I wanted to ask both Albino and all three of you, Gaetano, Taina, perhaps what are some healing practices or just some general practices that you've been doing, to get through this quarantine? I know a lot of people ask, a lot of people join us for that reason, and we're trying to find and build community. So, and either one, however you want to start answering, but I just really curious, and we ask all our, I ask all our artists, what kind of practices can you share that you're doing to survive this? I'm on day 60 right now of isolation. I don't know about you all, but what kind of practices are you all doing to deal with these times? It just be great to know and share with our peoples.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's important that we exchange these ideas. For me, I have been working as a board member with Soulfire Farm, the farm I mentioned for a while, or a little while back. I've been working with them for a while, but I'd actually stopped growing my own food at home. I have a CSA, a community supported agriculture share through some local farms, but I hadn't gotten my hands in the earth myself in a long time. And so this has been a really powerful opportunity for me to be grounded in a location and bring my hands back to the earth. So I've been, I have a small yard and I've been growing, planting seeds and growing some food and just connecting with nature, walking in the woods as much as I can. And, just connecting with nature. That's been like the most important form of healing for me.
Yeah, I feel very blessed to be able to be in upstate New York in a space where we can get into the middle of the woods and be by ourselves and connect with nature in that way and take hikes and things like that. I know it's harder for some people who are in New York City or other urban areas where it's a little more crowded to find those spaces, but wherever those spaces can be found, it's important to take advantage of them.
Definitely. Thank you. And Albino, do you have any practices you like to share? Some things that you're doing these times to deal with?
For me, I'm still continuing doing what I've been doing before the quarantine. Believing in the theory of attraction. The quarantine is here. We're actually living this moment now. And it's important for me to think about the future in a positive way, to be able to wake up and look for a new day. So I've been very much trying to attract that, visualizing, playing again for people, sharing my art and writing new material, things like that, and having a chance to hug friends and things like that. Those are the things that are keeping me alive.
Thank you. I feel so blessed because, yeah, right? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Taina.
No, just echo. I just love that. Thank you.
For me, it's great because I've been looking for ways of healing and, and stopping and having these opportunities has been it. And I've been showered by possibilities. So I just would like to ask you all, because I feel so blessed that I've been, within all the difficulties, healthy first, and also blessed to be showered with possibilities of healing and being in community, even though it's from far away, even though it's from isolation. So that's why I asked you all, and just really, really exciting. I think this is the moment, perhaps, like, I don't know, Dave, if we have any questions that we're going to ask. I mean, this might be a moment for one or two more questions before we go to final song or songs. But I wanted to give a chance if there's any questions. I can't look at the chat, really. I'm looking straight into the camera here. Everybody really small. So I don't know if there's anything, any questions. But if not, I have a final question. If not, but I want to give a chance. I don't know if you have any questions from folks out there.
There's a question by Jaisha, and it says, "How can saludo Jaisha? How can we increase folks' realization, recognition? Artists, musicians are essential workers are essential workers in terms of our need for culture and community, when so much of that is being lost in this moment due to social isolation, especially in places like New Orleans, where we are so dependent on the cultural economy." So, how can we increase the realization that artists, musicians are essential workers in terms of our need?
It's such a good question. I think that we're realizing that there are so many different types of labor that are essential to our lives that sometimes we may take for granted. And this is an important time for us to really realize how important all of the workers, including the musician workers, the cultural workers, the artist workers, are in our economy, but also in being the medicine for our, spirits. And, so like I said earlier, I'm looking for new opportunities to be able to share my music and my medicine, because we don't know how long we're going to be in this circumstance, in this situation. So I'm really excited about all of the creative possibilities that are coming up. I've been, for example, on May 28th, this is a little plug, I'm going to be a part of an event called Our Future, which is an organization that works on sustainability with high school students. So earlier this year, Gaetano and I worked with a high school student where we really supported this high school student musician in their songwriting around sustainability and social change. And originally, we were all going to come together with these new compositions, and we were going to perform at Lincoln Center on Earth Day, and it was going to be really amazing. And there's of course some disappointment in not being able to have that venue and that experience. Yet we now are rescheduling for an online concert and streaming event to be held on May 28th. And now, like I said, more people can be a part of this experience and witness this young person's art than maybe could have been, within the container of Lincoln Center. So it's this is a different type of opportunity for thinking about accessibility. And I hope that extends past this moment of COVID-19.
Because I think even before this time, arts weren't always seen as artists, weren't seen as workers. And it's usually met with that, that's not your job, or that's not, that's just a thing or whatever. And I think that it's reflected in things like school budgets, it's reflected in the way that people decide to allocate money and resources and time when they see something as essential, or they see something as work that is enriching the lives of people, or as just some little side hobby. And hopefully, that this does provide that opportunity to be able to shift a little bit of that narrative.
Definitely, right? And this trend of, destroying the arts, and destroying creativity is also definitely a neoliberal project, and ultimately the project of fascism and the project of controlling us and not allowing, for the transformations and liberation that we want to see. So not to say that all art does that, because some art can do the complete opposite, right? So it's either sanitize it and, do that, or just, so I'm glad we can talk about uplifting artists. And actually, you mentioned a plug. This is the moment for the plug. Our people online, we want them to know how to support your project. So please, this is a moment for the handles. And then we'll go to Albino for this too. This is a moment for the handles, for the websites. Please tell our audience how they support your project. How can they support?
You.
Yes, of course.
Taina Asili, which is TAINAASILI.com, is my website, and you can find me at Taina Asili on Twitter and Instagram, and Taina Asili Music on Facebook, and also Taina Asili on YouTube and Bandcamp. And that's actually a great way to support me as an artist. right now, sales of our music. Of course, we all know that Spotify, although, it's a great place to access new music, it's not a great place that to support artists, in the sense that artists don't get much money for in compensation for their labor. So Bandcamp is a great way to do that, and you can purchase all of my music on Bandcamp as well.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to Bandcamp and purchase your music. I'm sorry, because obviously people get their Apple Music and their Spotify, and they forget that cents, if even, you get out of that. So good to hear. We can go to Bandcamp and we're gonna go buy your music. That's a great way of support. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, thanks to you. The same question for you, Albino. I want to find out. We want to make sure that people know how to support your work, your wonderful music. So please share with our audience how to reach out and listen to you and support your work.
Hi, my name is Albino Mbie, and the spelling is ALBINO. mbie.com will be my website, albinombie.com, and Albino Mbie on YouTube channel, on Spotify as well, Apple Music, Instagram, Facebook, under Albino Mbie. So that's the way you can follow to know what I've been up to and support my work. That would be great. Thank you.
Oh, thanks to you. And just for those of you who are writing over there, make sure Albino Mbie. So it's ALBINO MBIE, and Taina Asili, TAINAASILI. So Taina Asili and Albino Mbie. So and if you're on Zoom, you can put it here. It fits here to the chat. And if not, we'll make sure to post it on our page. Make sure that people know how to support our artists, so you can check us in When We Fight, We Win, or in FightWin.com, and Instagram or Facebook. You can check out. We'll have our artists there highlighted. We want to move to another song. This is our closing song, or songs. I don't know if either of you want to play something. Taina, I think we have asked you for 3 songs. I don't know if you want to play another song.
To do another, of course.
Okay, cool. But may start with you, Albino. Can you maybe give us a song to close out, and then we'll go to Taina and
Sure.
close it out. So thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. This is wonderful. I want to do this every week. I'm going to insist, as Greg says, I'm doing more of these great Sounds of Resistance music sessions. Thank you so much. What's your next song for us, Albino?
The next song is Where You Come From. They say our language is so worn, no one speaks it anymore, but I do. They say our customs are out of date, no one don't understand anymore. Our history has no cobwebs, because no one ever wrote it down. Our traditions have vanished like clouds after the storm. Don't you wanna know? Don't you wanna know? Don't you wanna know where you come from? Don't you wanna know? Don't you wanna know where you come from? Don't you want your kids to believe that there is hope beyond the horizon?
because I do, I do, I do. Don't you want your kids to believe that they can find it again? Because I do. Our history has no cobwebs because no one ever wrote it down. Our traditions have vanished like clouds after the storm. Don't you wanna know? I refuse to be an orphan, a lily floating in the air, a verse that no mouth ever claims. Our future is hidden in this sacred place. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, whoa, whoa. Don't you wanna know? Don't you wanna know where you come from? Don't you wanna know? Don't you wanna know where you come from? Don't you wanna know? Don't you wanna know where you come from? Don't you wanna know? Don't you wanna know where you come from? Don't you wanna know?
Yeah, I love it. Love the scatting too. That was wonderful. Thank you, Albino. So wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Such an honor. So is this my only chance to say goodbye? So is this the one?
We're gonna hear one more song and then
Okay.
you want to say goodbye altogether. We'll do it like a more
Sounds good. Thank you.
So yeah, I want to go to that last song, yeah, and then we get to say goodbyes and maybe have a last question depending on how we're doing for time. But so yeah, away with all my peoples. Just tell us what the last song is gonna be, and Taina and Gaetano.
First, I want to just acknowledge Albino because that was so beautiful. I don't know if you can see me, but
You probably can't, but I'm like singing with you and I'm like dancing with you. Gaetano's actually playing guitar. Like we're getting
if we
down.
could line it up. Oh,
I think that's the hardest thing
It
about
is
playing
it's so
live
hard.
like this is that we can't, you don't
Can't
see
just
each
jam,
other.
you know? Yeah.
And with that, this is our last song. It's called War Cry, and originally I was going to do Nuestro Mi Presidente, but I decided that, you know, my heart is really calling for this one right now because we were talking about grieving and that medicine. I wrote the song living in Philadelphia. I was living in a house with almost, I think it was at one point around 11 different people from the African diaspora. And so this song was written with all of our languages combined into one. So it combines isiZulu, Ochivambu, Kiswahili, Spanish, and English. And so the English part at the end is sort of a translation of the languages that came previous. And it's a song that I wrote actually around the time of the passing of my parents. And that grieving. And so it was almost like a dirge. It was this war cry, this calling to move my pain into that place of radical hope. And it continues to be that for me. So I offer this to all of our listeners today with that in mind.
you stopped our tongues, hid our words into the dust, almost forgotten. Fear has made our voices still no longer. We will sing our way home. Vibration breaking round, you will feel us. We will sing our way home. We've been given the power of the word, and we will use it. 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 We will not break this tongue. We will not break the spirit of earth. Comments from this song. Sing out with this one we use it necessary. Oh, we'll come back. Oh, we'll come
Thank you. Thank you so much. We can't hear the applauses, we can see them. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's such a wonderful, wonderful experience today. I take away so much great music from you all, so wonderful. And really, I want to thank Gaetano, Taina, Albino, really for your wonderful, wonderful music. And I also take away that, you know, I have hope for the future, as Albino says, and also doing the work today, the work, you know, like Taina, is like you're saying, like the work of grieving and the work of healing, so we can transform ourselves and really hope for a better future, not a normality that never has worked for us, but really a future that we can transform. So I take that from you, music. I take that from what you said to me today, and you've given me an incredible sense of, you know, of hope and just great happiness, even in crying, just a great happiness and joy. So I really want to thank you, all of you, for really making the time to be here. It's a wonderful opportunity. And yeah, I want to give you a chance to, you know, to close out, say something else to our, you know, to our people, to our audience, and you know, do that goodbye thing. As Albino said, is this a chance to say goodbye? Yeah, this is this is when we wrap it up and say goodbye. And really, really appreciate you being here.
I so appreciate you. I so appreciate you. I appreciate your vulnerability in this moment, and I appreciate the heart that you brought to this, that Albino brought to this, that we all brought to this. So, you know, I just think that the more that we peel back those layers and, you know, bear our heart and our truth and use that as that guiding force for the work towards justice and healing, the better off we'll all be. So thank you all so much. Peace and love and liberation.
Peace.
Thanks to you for being in community. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Such an honor to be surrounded by warm souls like all of you. Taina and Kaitan, you guys sound amazing, beautiful. I didn't know your music. I listened to it. Really, really love it. Thank you very much for beautiful performance. Thank you to Ajit Art. I think that's how you say it. Ajit Art. When we fight, we win. For the invitation. Thank you very much for making me feel like home with all of you. Yes.
A pleasure. You've been wonderful. Thanks to all of you. And maybe throw it back to our hosts, Day and Greg, to close us out. This wonderful, wonderful show. Thanks to everybody.
So much love is right now pouring out to you on Facebook and on our chat, on our quick Q&A. And Luana says, Dale Taina, early in the show. Francis Martinez says, Wepa, thank you. She also writes, thank you for organizing this, Greg, Day, and Jorge. Beautiful space, especially during these uncertain times. hugs and solidarity, and so much more pouring out on Facebook, and including Jorge had there's requests about how to join your Saturday night party. And
I mean, if you know about my party, follow me on Instagram or Facebook, Cano Cangrejo. That's CANO, CANGREJO, Cano Cangrejo. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and that's where you get the details to be in the Zoom party. So yeah, check it out. Check it out. It's Saturdays, and you also can check Fridays, which is also an open party called Mi Gente. Mi Gente is a national Latinx organization, and having a party called Mi Gente Hanguea this Friday that I'm hosting at 8:30 p.m. You can check for Mi Gente also online and find out when to be in that party and community as well. So those are the chances, and yeah, we're just gonna be out there dancing and getting the energy out that we can, because we can't be outside. That's the plan. That's what we've been doing for 10 weeks now.
And Albino, could you tell the audience one more time how they can support you and find you, and how we can listen and follow your music, and whatever we can do to be loving and supportive of you?
Oh, thank you, Greg. You may find my work under albinombie.com, albinombie.com. ALBINOMBIE is the same name for Facebook, for Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you.
And the same, Taina, can you share with how we can support you and share our love?
Yeah, it's Taina Asili, TAINA ASILI. That's a .com, and then you can also find me at Taina Asili on Instagram and Twitter, and Taina Asili Music on Facebook, and Taina Asili at YouTube and Bandcamp as well.
And Bandcamp, you said, was one of the better ways that we could be that you get more money than the other platforms. So that's great. And yeah, I guess just more love is pouring out. I won't read it all, but just so you know, it's coming at you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll check it out after.
Sí, so un montón de amor, mucho amor y gratitud. Again, and thank you for our audience for being here in this virtual space with us. Thank you for being in solidarity. And if you're wondering how to get involved, please follow them and follow us, and find more resources at whenwefightwewin.com. We hope that you will join us in 2 weeks on Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern at the same place.
And we invite you again via Zoom or YouTube or Facebook Live. That's again in 2 weeks. We're switching to an every other week format. And in the weeks in between, we launch our podcasts. So you'll get to hear those. So that's every Wednesday. And we also invite you to share this recording of this and past episodes. A remastered recording is available several days after each show. So look in 4, 5, 6 days. And we'll also be sharing this on Facebook and on our website. In the meantime, please look after each other and stay safe and well. And remember that we have released our 3rd episode of When We Fight, We Win, the podcast, which is with Stash Kotler of Bend the Arc. Next week, we release Black and Brown Solidarity, the struggle to defend public education in Puerto Rico and the USA. So go to our website, whenwefightwewin.com/podcast, or wherever you get podcasts.
Yes, this episode was produced by an amazing team that has been collaborating across continents. Jorge Diaz y esta servidora are the producers of this show. Osvaldo Budet supported us in the production. Yuri Losordo is our managing producer. Our artwork was created by Jose Hernandez Diaz. Music was selected by Cano Cangrejo, and our theme music was generously shared by Reverend Seku. And one more thing, the magic was brought up by Taina, Sili, Caetano, and Albino Mbie.
Our social media is coordinated by Talia Carol Ketchumwell. We'd like to thank our friends at the New Press, publisher of When We Fight, We Win. Small publishers and bookstores are suffering right now, so please support them by buying all your books at a local bookstore. It's available on our website and wherever books are sold. It is so inspirational to come together, to collaborate, to work with you, and to build this more beautiful planet and offer this gift of this show to you, our audience.
And if you like what you heard, We invite you to share, subscribe, and follow us on social media at When We Fight, We Win on Facebook and Instagram, at We Fight and Win on Twitter. Have something on your mind, or you want to tweet us about anything about from this episode to what would you like to see next, please email or tweet us at podcast@whenwefightwewin.com.
I'm Greg Jobin Leeds.
Y yo soy Day Hernandez. Thank you for joining us.
And now back to Kano.